Launching for the first time in the West, is this first-person dungeon crawler from developers Experience Inc. worth your time? I'm Anthony from TBN, and let us answer that question in today's episode of Should You Play Saviors of Sapphire Wings? If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, as we publish reviews on the latest games each and every week. Now onto the show. When it comes to turn-based RPGs, I always have two major concerns that need to be addressed before I'm properly invested. 1. Does the combat have any interesting mechanics or fun gimmicks that can hold my attention? And 2. Will the story keep me invested throughout the 30-plus hour campaign these games are typically known for? Unfortunately, Saviors of Sapphire Wings falls short on both of these fronts. Not only is the story extremely generic and run-of-the-mill, but the overall gameplay suffers much of the same fate. Technically speaking, nothing is wrong with this title. It looks and plays a-okay. My main issue here is with how plain everything comes across. It's as if the developers were like, "Hey boss, we've got all these traditional elements of an RPG, what can we add in to spice things up?" And then the manager replied, "What are you talking about? These games aren't supposed to be fun, Gary. You're fired." Examining the actual gameplay itself, it's very similar to the Etrian Odyssey and Mary Skelter series. A total of 6 characters line up in battle, taking turns, assigning their appropriate actions, healing when necessary, using items they've created through cooking, alchemy, and so forth. You know the drill. The issue is, there's barely anything else happening here. To put things in perspective, think of some of your absolute favorite RPGs, and you'll most likely recall some of their more unique, intriguing features. Whereas with Saviors of Sapphire Wings, it's got all the basic foundations of a dungeon crawling RPG, but doesn't necessarily hook you with anything specific. Attacking, defending, and casting spells only gets an RPG so far. And because of this, Sapphire Wings gets stale way too fast. That being the case, pacing-wise, I did like how you can either play out a round's battle action in full detail, or just skip to the final result with a single button press. Also, the fact that you can individually customize each party member's class, subclass, appearance, and skill point distribution at any time outside a dungeon is mighty convenient. That's about all I've got for positives, to be honest. Moving through the dungeons is fine. If you follow along with the bland-looking map, there shouldn't be many issues. Although it doesn't help that the majority of environments and textures are all copy-paste cookie-cutter assets, like they belong in a PS2 RPG. There were some ridiculously frustrating segments as well. The biggest offenders being making the player randomly check walls to find hidden paths, or the main story suddenly screeching to a halt as the party would now be required to fight previously optional battles scattered around the map. Each of these escapades almost always resulting in countless amounts of backtracking. I distinctly remember completing one of the longer dungeons and a party member directly asked me after a difficult fight, "Do you want to go back to town?" Which I obviously said yes to, no hesitation. And then nothing happened. What is this, troll level 9000? Come on, game. Don't make us walk 15 minutes all the way back to the entrance with a half-dead party. Not cool. As a whole, Sapphire Wings just loves making the player walk back and forth, fighting random battles for no apparent reason. Even though it's a dungeon crawler at heart, this is still padding at its finest. In regards to the story and characters, it's not much better. The cast is all very cliché anime with garden variety motivations. There are some funny lines from a few party members, but that's about all you're getting. Get ready for the standard Kingdom Hearts phrases of light, darkness, and my friends and my power for days. Couple that with an obsessive, non-stop praise for the chosen one who will bring down a great, menacing evil, because they're amazing and legendary and all that jazz. You've seen this trope done heaps better before. That's all I'm trying to say. Good thing the music has some catchy, symphonic tunes to tie you over, because otherwise, I would have stopped playing even quicker. So, should you play Saviors of Sapphire Wings? Honestly, to tell you the truth, only if there's no other game in sight. It bears the shell of an RPG, but unfortunately, it doesn't exactly expand upon any of its foundations. The backtracking is tedious, the battles are basic, and the story is as generic as it gets. Best give this a pass. Guys, if you enjoyed this vid, give us a thumbs up, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it so you won't miss an upload. This really helps our channel grow too. For more RPG content, check out my review on Ys 9 Monstrum Nox or Dylan's video on Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Also, visit thebetanetwork.net to read my full written review on Saviors of Sapphire Wings.